Hello, annyeonghaseyo, goeiedag. My name is Sangho. I'm the CEO of Cryptopia and I welcome you to CryptopiaCast. Here we discover the latest trends in crypto space and the people behind them. By the way, if you do not know Cryptopia, we are an upcoming blockchain game that stands out by design choices. We are free to earn, so no need for an NFT or an investment. We are 100% decentralized and most of all, fun to play. Are you ready to dive into the wonderful world of crypto, NFTs, and games? Then please join me. In this episode, our guest is Amy Ouzoonian. She's the CEO and co-founder of MoodConnect. She's a mother, a writer, and yoga meditation teacher with a passion for AI and marketing. We had a very interesting talk about being a single mother and still having a career, and it is possible, about how you can improve the wellness of your employees, what role technology can play, and of course about Web3. Make sure you watch this one. Enjoy! So, welcome back, and well, here we are with Amy Ouzoonian. And of course, my first question always is, who is Amy Ouzoonian?
Hi, thanks so much for having me on the show, Sangho. And Amy Ouzoonian, my name is Amy Ouzoonian, and I'm the CEO and co-founder for MoodConnect. And MoodConnect is a platform plus wellness solution for remote, hybrid, and in-person workspaces. And we are cultivating cultivating a culture of health and wellness for workspaces that values employee and manager wellness. And it's great to be on your podcast.
Yeah, wow, very interesting, and very important, I think. So, I of course read about your startup or your company, so I know a bit about it, but the listeners probably not. So you really focus on the wellness of or the wellness of other people and other people's employees, right? So, and I'm really happy to hear that because I have many experiences myself from other companies where they were not really focused on employees. But did you sort of run into a problem yourself in this field and then you decided to create a solution for it? Is that how it happened? Or was there another story about founding MoodConnect?
Yeah, when before the pandemic, when I was working in corporate spaces, whether it was a very large company or a startup, what I noticed was that the companies that did offer some kind of benefits, that would encourage health and wellness for employees, they were, they were growing and doing very well. Employees wanted to actually be there, and and there's always been kind of this trend for myself. If I was able to take care of my own personal health and wellness while at work, then and that was supported, then I felt like I was cared for, and I felt more encouraged to do a better job,
Yeah.
at that job. But every time when it was like, oh, you're gonna have to like have your lunch at your desk today and work through all these projects, and you might not even get a break, you know then I would feel like, I'm so burned out. I'm exhausted. I'm stressed out.
Mm.
All I'm thinking about is work, and it would result in me feeling sick, you know, and not wanting to be there, and really, feeling like it was either me or the job,
Mm. Mm.
and I can see that through the years, employees, they are experiencing this, and people are experiencing this over and over again. And my thought was, well, why not offer some kind of sense of health and wellness, offering employees opportunities to take breaks and do something like a guided meditation, or, encouraging them, go for a walk, you know, um, do something that you enjoy doing that is a part of who you are outside of this work that you're doing,
Mm.
because it can contribute to you feeling like, oh, you know what, this company does care about me and who I am and my health and wellness, as an individual, and so I want to be a part of this more. You know, I mean, we work like human beings. We work every day,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And and so, uh, separating and this the separation of work life balance, it starts to fade more and more.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
and yeah, and so offering that health and wellness is so important.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's a nice story. So it's really like you want to change something, and well, you experience yourself and you want to make other people experience the same. So really, really good, really good. And what you say, that's absolutely true. So especially with the pandemic, with COVID, work-life balance became more important than ever. And I think many people never even experience the work-life balance in such a way, working from home, having the kids, if they have kids around, or walking the dog, or doing the household task in between. So there was a good I believe there's a good thing. So many people experienced, well, I work for a long period from home, so because I wanted to do something with my family, and so it's a choice that I made at some point to leave the corporate world and start my own business, because then I was able to take care of my kids and do grocery shopping and do cooking, because I love cooking. But many people never had that chance, right? And due to the pandemic, I think people were more or less forced to be at home, and then they experienced some bad things about being at home, and I hope also some good things. But also the danger being at home is you always work, you're always on, right? Because you're never leaving a physical place, but you're always in the office. That's what I experience. So I think what you do also about meditation, and I'd like to know more about that. So how did you get on meditation?
Oh, well, meditation is such an important aspect of my personal practice. I meditate every morning for, anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes every morning. And it actually was such an important part of me starting MoodConnect.
Okay.
At the beginning of the pandemic, I wasn't really sure what to do. I was laid off from a job that I had been at for quite some time,
Mm.
and I just, was kind of like, well, there's so much chaos going on in the world, and my meditation teacher said, just meditate every day, and I did, and then the idea for MoodConnect just, kind of came to me, and
Wow.
it started with the core question that came to me, which was, how are you feeling? you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
and and then it just kind of came, like, went from there.
Wow. Wow. Really nice. Really nice. So, obviously, we are a blockchain game, and you are Mood Connect. So there is some um, touch points between blockchain, NFT, Web3, and Mood Connect. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So, MoodConnect, it uses AI sentiment analysis, and the reason why, how I kind of came into the Web3 world, was through using AI, as being almost like an advanced HR, you know, like a moderator to analyze conversations, right? So how the basis of Mood Connect works in the platform is that it connects with Slack, Microsoft Teams, and Discord, and then it takes the conversation and analyzes it to be, broken down into emotion sentiment.
Hmm.
So we kind of translate the sentiment analysis to emotional analysis, which is, very unique to MoodConnect. How I got the idea from was because in sentiment analysis, it's based on positive and negative numbers.
Mm.
But, not everybody can really translate positive and negative numbers to really mean something. So I chose to translate those numbers into actual human emotions,
Okay.
and assigning human emotions to the conversations, and showing percentages of, the levels of what's being expressed in those conversations.
All
And so
right.
then the AI starts to learn, like, oh, this looks mostly happy, this looks mostly angry, this looks mostly sad or fearful,
Hmm.
and then showing that on a dashboard. Um, Moving further into the future, we're going to be using more NFT and blockchain technology, because
Wow.
blockchain is, extremely secure. Many forms of blockchain are being used in fintech and in data security. So we just found that that is, the more logical way to, to move forward. Uh, um, but also, um, we're going to be having a few projects that include NFT technology,
Hmm.
um, particularly a project further into the future that will allow us to take the MoodConnect model and use it in Twitter
Hmm.
for a more B2C capacity. So we started out being B2B, but moving forward in more of a B2C kind of aspect, as well as serving businesses. Um, and so we'll be piloting that in Twitter, and then moving forward into other applications
Okay.
using the MoodConnect emotion analysis model.
All right. Wow. Sounds very, very interesting and exciting as well. Talking about work-life balance, you are a mother of a daughter, right? And I think I can see a bit of her hair in view. So no worries. I have it all the time. So
Yeah. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I'm a single mom. And one of the things that had really, helped me when I started MoodConnect was that, I said, you know what? I mean, my situation isn't going to be perfect, but I just felt like if I'm able to, be in a space where I can take care of my daughter and
mm,
also grow this company, then then that would make it more possible. And I also felt like I wanted to kind of create a model for how other uh, women like myself can move forward in being a parent, and also uh, being being a CEO and co-founder.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's really leading by example and showing other people that it is really possible, right? And I really like that. And I'm not a single mom, obviously, but I am a father, and I really wanted to take care of my boys. So I understand the choice you made. So really, really good. And I really hope that other people see that it's possible, and that you and also, well, me in my smaller world can be an example for that. And I'm really intrigued by MoodConnect, by the AI, and because is it like recording the talks, or is it is it analyzing the emails of the employees, or how does it work?
Yeah, so uh, I really felt like, I mean, I still really feel like our children are watching us.
Mm.
And, it's a very interesting, conversation about choosing your children or your work. So, a very interesting thing that I had seen on LinkedIn a little bit ago that I want to share. So, a woman, she had shared on LinkedIn that she had to do a networking event and she wasn't able to get a sitter, and that she brought her daughter with her to this event. And in the next room over, there was another Christmas event where they had a Santa Claus, and the daughter, she was being a 3-year-old child and running all around the place, and then kept escaping to the next room over to where Santa Claus
Yes.
was. And the mother was very frazzled, and she was running all over the place, chasing after her daughter, and while trying to network with her colleagues. And uh, and then by the end of the, like maybe about an hour or so in, she just said, "You know what? Forget it. I'm not going to do this, and I'm just going to take my daughter home." And she was very angry, and she was, just very upset about it. And then in the end, the moral to all of this was that she decided that she was not going to choose her career
Mm.
over her child, and that she was going to choose to be a mother to her child, and just say, you know what, I can't do my career.
Yeah. Wow.
And I thought to myself, I was like, I've been there. I've totally been there. And, a lot of parents would say, like, why didn't you get the kid a sitter? And, I've been there as a single mother. Uh, there are times when the babysitter cancels at the last minute,
Mm. Yeah.
or the babysitter is sick or doesn't show up on time, and you're like, well, I gotta go. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
I have to bring my kid with me. I've spoken to so many other CEOs and startup founders, and they've had the same kind of situation, like where, oh yeah, I had an investor meeting, I had to bring my kid, and they just sat there with a notepad and some paper
Yeah.
and drawing pictures. Um, and you know what, it happens. But what you do have your choices. You can either say, all right, I'm going to cancel this investor meeting, like my kid's more important, I'm going to spend the day with my kid, you know or you can say, you know what, i'm going to I'm going to choose me in this moment because it's a great example for my kid. And that's what I've chosen time and time again. um, and it's for another reason as well, because I grew up as being the daughter of an artist and an accountant. And my mother, she was a member of a gallery.
Mm.
And my sister and I, when we were very young, we went to a gallery opening with her. And we acted just like that 3-year-old child, running around, being children, being very young children. And my mother, after that gallery opening, she said, I'm not going to do this, anymore until they're older, until my children are older. And I'm not going to do art show openings. I'm not going to be a part of a gallery. I'm not going to be an artist professionally. I'm going to be a stay-at-home mother.
Mm.
And my mother was extremely resentful for
Yeah.
years and years because she didn't pursue what she knew was her heart's desire.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that you can be a parent and pursue what is your heart's desire at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is really unfortunate, right? And but it's not forever. It's not. I mean, it's when I look at my own kids when they grew up, and especially when they were a bit younger, and then certain choices I could also not make. I like to be abroad. I like to live in foreign countries, but that's not the right moment, not the right timing. Now they're getting a bit older. Now I can make the choice again. So it's, well, I don't want to say that your mother should have, only limited herself for a certain period in her life, and there are so many other factors at play. So I really understand it. But I hope that many people realize that certain situations are not forever. Let's put it that way. So there are always, changes, and there is always a dynamic, and you can always weigh the opportunities again, and revisit your previous decisions, and maybe it works out in a couple of months or a couple of years for you. But yeah, wow, very good story. And again, it really comes through. You really made a choice to be a mom first, but that didn't prevent you from being a CEO and a founder of a startup. So that's really, really great, but also demanding, I guess, because indeed it is very difficult to hold everything in balance.
Well, yeah, you know what? But you know what? I feel very blessed and grateful for that. I mean, like there are challenges, like doing a podcast and your kid wakes up,
Yeah,
and you don't,
yeah,
and you're like, oh, you know what, you sometimes she might sleep through the whole thing, and I might be making lots and lots of noise in the house, and she's still sleeping through it, and then there are times where making even the slightest noise,
yeah.
then all of a
Waking her
sudden
up.
she wakes up and it's like, okay, well,
Yeah,
now I'm doing, and sometimes it would happen when I'm in the midst of like an investor, and and it's like, okay, now this is happening. But I feel like, in this time period, I guess it's like, what you call maybe the Zoom era
mm,
in business, right? Where lots of people are on Zoom meetings or on Google Chat meetings or whatever the video
yeah, yeah,
platform that's being used. Um, everyone is very understanding because a lot of us are working from our home offices. Um, and and we're all doing the best that we can.
yeah.
We are, our children are, and um, and I th- and I think that it's important to communicate to your children and um, to the people that you're working with. Like, okay, this is the situation that I'm, we're dealing with in this moment in time. It's like you said, not going to be forever.
No.
And to, this is what meditation has taught me, is to stay in the present moment, to
Okay.
not be so concerned with what just happened, and to not be so, anxious about what might happen, to be in the moment in time, and to let those things like what has happened to be a teacher, and what could happen to be uh, a, something that you learn from as well. But kind of not being so stuck in those spaces, right? In the past and the future,
Mm,
like not getting so anxious about like, oh, what might happen? Like I'm having this video meeting, and like, oh gosh, I hope my kid doesn't wake up,
yeah, 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 yeah.
like just being like, what, if it happens, I'm just going to deal with that then in
Yeah,
that moment in
yeah, yeah.
time. And I think that that's a key thing to having a business, right? Is you plan for things, but you don't worry and stress out about them.
Exactly.
Planning
Yeah.
allows you to be more well informed, and to deal with something when it actually is happening,
Yes.
and then let it go. I feel like meditation has taught me that on a daily basis, to let things go. Like, okay, this happened. Now, when we dealt with it, we handled it in the best way we could. And now we're going to let this go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, wow. And I think that's really good. You know, don't keep thinking about it or keep having regrets about things that happened, and especially do not be intimidated by things that could happen, but maybe never will happen, right? So it really can block you. So I do not meditate, but my, my wife is meditating, and she always tells me that I'm sort of a natural Zen guy in the way I approach stuff. You know, it's so it's really funny, but it really intrigues me, and I find it really nice to hear use cases of people, you know, in everyday life, but also in business, because most of the time, meditation, well, at least in my environment, sits in the corner like, you know, it's a bit, it's not really rational. It is of course rational, but I mean, it's not really the hard business mentality. It's more the soft core and, you know, nature eco style. And I don't agree with it, of course, and that's why I find it really really nice to hear your story, how you deal with it, or how you can use meditation, but also how you use it in MoodConnect, to circle back to MoodConnect, to have employees, you know, assist them or help them, or maybe even stimulate them to try to have that mindset. And I think that's really a beautiful thing. Talking about that, we already touched upon the future of Mood Connect, but can you tell us a bit more, like, where are we, or where are you in like a year or 2 years? Will you be in some different place, or is Mood Connect globalized, or what are your plans or aspirations?
Yeah, yeah. So, MoodConnect, we are focused in the US right now,
Mm.
but we are very open to being expanded outward into different verticals and other parts of the world. And then also serving serving businesses in different capacities. So we started out as being a platform and mostly serving remote and hybrid companies. But now we're also able to serve in person in some capacities, offering our wellness events. So we started this in Phoenix. And we're expanding it out to Atlanta and
Okay.
then New York and LA.
Wow.
And the pop up wellness events, they're very simple actually. We bring in these local aspects of wellness into the workspace because this was the idea that I had for with this particular program, was that bringing consumers, because if you have a job, you're more able to be a consumer,
Mm.
bringing consumers closer to wellness in their local area. So, like yoga teacher, meditation teacher, licensed massage therapists, and also local food vendors.
Oh, wow.
So we bring in nutritious, healthy food that's
Uh,
delicious
yeah,
into
yeah.
the workspace. We bring in licensed massage therapists, a yoga teacher, and meditation teacher into the workplace. And for 2 hours, we're just offering these services, in the local area.
Wow.
And yeah, and it's going over so well in Phoenix that we're expanding it out to Atlanta.
Wow, really, really nice, really nice. And you know, well, of course, it has to be in English, right? So, yeah, do you have plans to do it in other languages like Spanish or German or French?
Yeah. We're doing this more. So I guess, do you mean that the wellness events are only in English, or are you meaning that like the platform is only
Yeah,
utilizing AI in
yes. I mean the
English?
platform. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So right now it analyzes conversations in English, but we will be having it in other languages
Oh,
very,
wow.
very soon.
Good, 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 good. So that's very nice to have it in different languages, and I wonder if there are also language specific words or you know, descriptions for emotion. So your AI has to restart learning, you know, to really. I can imagine that in like in Spanish or English or German or even Dutch, we use different words for different emotions or expressions. So How is it? Yeah, I'm just curious from a technology
Well,
standpoint.
yeah, I mean, yeah, and of course, nuances are going to be different across different cultures and different languages. And we are continuously working on iterating the AI model to be able to pick up those different nuances across the board and how it translates over emotionally. Um, but that, of course, takes time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
as we continue to work with more and more samples and cases, then we're going to be able to expand that out to improve the model as we move forward. I mean, that's the cool thing about AI is that the more you work with it, the more use cases you offer to AI and educate it moving forward, then it's able to very quickly pick up on
Yeah.
things that a human being isn't able to pick up on. And it's doing it in the background in a very, very effective way. So that you don't have to hire like a whole team of coaches and analysts and all these kind of things because you
Mm-hmm.
have the AI working for you.
Wow. Wow. Really exciting. Really exciting. All right. Thank you, Amy. Well, I think we are now at the end of our podcast interview. And I really want to thank you for your time, for being here on our show and telling us so much about your personal story, about MoodConnect and the plans for the future. So thank you for that.
Yeah, but if you have any, any more questions or anything, happy to help.
All right. Thank you very much.
All
Okay.
right.
Hey, thank
Well,
you. Enjoy your
thank you.
day.
Have a great day.
Okay. Talk to you later. Bye bye.
Bye.